When I was first arrested just after my 18th birthday, I knew I'd end up spending time in prison. I'd committed a robbery, I'd committed unrelated shooting. I knew I was going down for something. The question was for how long. So originally they were saying, oh, we think we can get it down to a couple years. Like, we're going to talk to them. They understand you're young, you were strung out on drugs. Like, this is your first offense. We can make this okay. Then sentencing guidelines called for 8 to 13 years. They were modified to 10 to 16 and a half years. The judge sentenced me to 32 years. So basically I felt like my life was over. I was 18 years old being told I was going to spend 32 years in prison before I ever had a chance to get out. Now, over that time, I began to change. I began to become the person that I am. I began to really and truly grow in a way that I had never done on the street. And I think part of it was being removed from the street and all the forces and all the BS. So in there, I found myself becoming different and becoming better and growing in a positive way. But there came a point where I didn't feel like I could do it anymore. So I remember I got to the halfway point of my sentence and I was just done. I woke up that next day and I was like, I can't do this again. I can't do this amount of time again. It is going to break me. It is going to make me worse. It is going to make me less. I actually talk about this a fair amount in my book. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I felt like prison was making me less every single day, whereas previously it'd given the opportunity to grow and heal and become more. So I do think there's a point at which a sentence becomes too long and people are just getting worse at that point. We're just like taking and grading away from them when they've done the work and they've made the change and they're ready to come back to society. So when we look at sentences, we can say, oh, we want to lock them up and throw away the key, or we want to punish them or whatever. We have to recognize there is a tremendous amount of trauma of being in prison, regardless of the conditions, regardless of stuff someone does or doesn't go through. Just being in prison for that long period of time, just being dehumanized, just having your name stripped away and being given a number, just no longer being referred to as an individual, but being a part of the kind of a cog in the wheel, I guess you could say, it takes away from people. So there's a point at which keeping someone locked up is no longer beneficial if we were ever going to let them out. And in fact, we were making it harder and harder for them to adjust when they get out, and therefore we were not protecting public safety.